How's it going, Mets fans? It's your guy, Wardy, and we're back at it talking about the Amazins. And as we were doing a Driving with Wardy segment earlier, breaking down the very unfortunate news, which is Jeff McNeil's out for the remainder of the season with a really tiny wrist fracture that we saw. Fast forward hours later, I'm currently outside right now of Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart's roommate show event here at Central Park. So excited to be here. It's been an awesome event thus far. It's not over yet, and I was watching the Mets game on my phone just like I did yesterday while at a concert. I'm here to break down the Metsies securing their 9th straight victory this season. Now almost at 80 wins before we know it. The Mets currently in first place of that third wildcard spot, and should the Atlanta Braves falter in this matchup, we'll stay in that position there over Atlanta, kicking them out to the 4th spot. At minimum, the Mets will stay in a wildcard spot for yet another night. At absolute worst, they will be tied with Atlanta. And my key takeaways, and I want to see your excitement down below in the comments, everybody, is the following. It is all and everything. Jose Quintana, the veteran southpaw, comes out here and has himself a masterclass outing there against the Cincinnati Reds. Just shy of a 7-inning outing, just like the Samoan southpaw and Sean Manaea yesterday. But unlike Manaea, where Manaea gave up what he did in the 4 earned runs, we got ourselves 6.2 shutty with over 5 Ks there for Jose Quintana. Brilliant outing, worked out of some great jams with a brilliant defense behind him, working those double plays. You got to love Jose Iglesias, Francisco Lindor, Mr. Smile, Pete Alonso, all making those turns. And speaking of Jose Iglesias, stepping up now as the Mets' everyday second baseman, barring changes potentially on a inevitable, say, Luis Angel Acuna call-up, whatever it might be. Drew Gilbert, let me know in the comments down below, which prospect do you think will get the call with Jeff McNeil now down at least for the remainder of the regular season? But Jose Iglesias, with all this bulk of playing time, matching up against his former team, in which he did so well against the same Mets team and Edwin Diaz back in 2019 as a Cincinnati Red, with now Cincinnati Red turned Met also, and Jesse Winker. And Jose had himself a nice day, multiple hits that we saw there, but this was simply a pitching dominant fest throughout the first half plus of the ball game. It wasn't until the 6th that we saw the Mets finally break out and have the lone scoring in this matchup that we saw thanks to the 4 runs. And who gets us started? The Bader Tater, baby. We got Harrison Bader, who has labored greatly, and I told each and every one of you on the channel the past week, Harrison Bader is going to be clutch for the Mets down this stretch. He has been huge in 2-out situations and high leverage situations. Harrison Bader, with the electric defense, hasn't had the bat at all the past month. He gets a no-doubter of a home run there to kick off the scoring for the Mets there in the inning, and they will never look back. This is against his former team there in the Cincinnati Reds, in which he was there for a half season this past year after being traded, or at least parted with, by the New York Yankees. And now after Bader gets the home run heroics there, we see Pete Alonso drive in a run with an RBI single. Then JD Martinez, and I told each and every one of you that we're going to get some dad strength out of him. I was hoping for home runs. I will gladly take a 2-run double instead. That increases the Mets' lead to 4-0, and the bullpen was absolutely stellar by this Mets team. Adam Ottavino getting a huge out, and then we saw from there brilliant work there by Danny Young. Squirrel sitting with a pair of strikeouts, and Edwin Sugar Diaz had himself a jam. Wasn't as comfortable as previous outings that he found himself in, but he escapes the jam there, as he always does, with the patented fastball and slider 1-2 punch, touching 100. Slide pieces looking nasty there in the 90s, and we got ourselves a Metropolitan victory. Their 9th straight victory of the season, folks. We'll be back live for our next segment tomorrow after hopefully a series sweep, a 3rd consecutive, taking care of business against the White Sox, taking care of business there against the Red Sox, hopefully taking care of business here against the Reds. You got the series victory. Let's get the sweep. Let's get those 10 straight games recorded in the win column. Let's find ourselves multiple games there in the wild card. I want to see this Mets team in the top wild card spot a week from now, and they have the chance to do that by continuing their winning ways. Let's see what the Mets have in store here going forward, folks. So be on the lookout for our post-game coverage tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching our recap. I'm going to go back to enjoying the event because I know that Jon Stewart's going to be showing up, which is cool. I also got Action Bronson for all my music fans out there, and also just love his YouTube channel. He's going to be performing there with Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges was there yesterday too. Sorry, Nets fans. I know you're not going to love to see that. An awesome event, an amazing event, but the Amazins are continuing to roll here, and I'm just, even though I wasn't at Citi Field today, as a PA resident, being in New York today, it just feels like home. As someone who grew up initially from New York, then moved to Pennsylvania for the majority of my life, I just always feel so happy and so comfortable to be back here. And I was already recognized, which I'm very grateful and humble for being at this event tonight, as well as my good buddy Richie, who's here too at Knicks Media and Jets Media. For my fellow fans that know him too, make sure to check out his coverage, folks. But Mets win this one by a final score of 4-0. They look to continue their winning streak to a whopping 10 straight games, the best winning streak in Major League Baseball, and they hope to do that there for the day game tomorrow, folks. I will see you all for post-game coverage. And my final stat that I got to leave you all with is one that is just perfectly telling of this Mets run, not just with the heroic home runs when they've needed it, but it's this bullpen. 0.65 ERA throughout this stretch for the Mets throughout their winnings. Yes, that's amazing. Francisco Lindor now having the Mets team record for his on-base streak at 35 or so games. Yes, the hit skid came to an end at 16 games or so for him and his best career high, but the on-base streak and the best active one in Major League Baseball continues and is now the best in New York Metropolitan history, passing David Wright. Let's go Mets, baby. I'll see you all again real soon.